In today's session, we are going to share what it took to win the Western University Math Exposition Artifact. And I'm your host, Ravi. And thank you so much for joining, Aniruth. So, as part of the team effort, your team won the first place in the Math Exposition Artifact category competition. And big congratulations to you. As you mentioned, we're here to share your journey. And thank you so much for your time for that. So, with that, I'm going to kick it off and pass it over to Anirudh to share the journey in detail. So, about the competition, this competition is basically run by Western University's Department of Mathematics. And the competition is actually held for high school students between 9 to 12th grade. And there are different categories which Anirudh will speak about it in detail. But as a parent, all that I did was to identify this competition and bring it to the attention to the students and kids and Anirudh. And also, I just paid the fee which is required for the registration. So over to you, Anirudh. Talk about the competition in detail.
Okay, so for there are three categories for Western Math Exposition. There's a poster part, there's a video part, and art mathematical artifact part. So the poster part where you just you pick a topic and you can talk about it. So you can talk about the math behind the GPS, and you can have and this year there was a special category where if you include a inspiration for your thing or a leading a Canadian mathematician that relates to your topic, you could enter a special category where you can win $500 more. So many groups did that part for every category, poster, video, and artifact. And yeah, so for just a restate poster, you just have a topic and you just talk about that topic in simple terms and then talk about the math behind that. And yeah, you can do this through a formula, equations, etc. in any way possible. But for us, for the artifact, we did through a equation and just overall. So the video presentation is a pre-recorded video where you can make a video and talk about a mathematical artifact in a creative way. So many people did that in a video game sense. So you're fighting a boss, and then you can talk about like the math behind the computer or something. And yeah, and there's also for the artifact, you have to create a physical object that functions effectively in that. So this our artifact is usually these artifacts can be usually 3D printed or made physically, which is really hands on, and you collaborate a lot more with your group members. And yeah, overall, it's pretty great in my opinion. And the timeline is usually this: January, that's when they open up their submission, like their to register, and yeah, you can start anytime after that, but you don't have to. And you can also register after this time period. You can register late February, etc. Then you also have to pick your mentor. There's a due date. I'm pretty sure it is mid-March, around March. And then at the end, which is like late April, there is a live showcasing to the Western faculty and grad students who will usually come in, and other high school students who participated. And there will be an award ceremony where you can win a medal. You can be also, and if you're a mentor, you'll be provided a certificate. So yeah, and so again, there's a $75 registration fee. So yeah, but if you don't have that money, it's okay.
Yeah, there is a financing options available. So you will have to reach out to the coordinators and request for any kind of a discount or a write off so that you will be able to still participate without paying this registration money.
Yeah. So why artifact? So there's a lot of tangible learning there where you have to make a physical object. It's usually there's a lot of mechanical parts there. So you will get a better understanding there. And it's really great if you want to go into the engineering or overall math related, because you would be dealing with that real world experience of collaborating with others with project management. And then you're going to be presenting it to other people, etc. So it'll be really good. So yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I would like to probably ask one question here, Anirudh. So there are three options available: pictures, videos, and also the artifact. Like, why did you choose artifact? What made you to pick category?
So I chose artifact because of how like because of how I would learn about that and I can actually talk about that because I wanted to create something that's relevant, something that I like and I can talk with it to other people. And I also like the part where you can present it to other people, to judges, which would give that other part where you give that another factor so we could practice to it. So it's actually really good. That's why I picked it because poster and video, that's just you have just your poster and just your video. They evaluate only off of that, and I didn't like. I want to do that. I want something that sounds cool, and I can also talk about it essentially.
Very nice, very nice. And this was the year that interactive judging also was introduced. So that actually helps you to set yourself apart. And I'm glad like that's a new category or new rules that they have implemented where the students get the ability to walk through their artifact instead of like just handing it over and letting it like, leaving it to the judges for their assumption.
Yeah,
Great.
exactly. You can just talk about it. And I also like the part where you can do a live demo as well. So
Okay. So let's move on.
So this is how our how we create our product. This is how we did it. So the first was brainstorming and ideation, where we just thought about ideas, picked up an idea, and we also chose the gravity perceptron. There were a lot of factors about it on what we want to compete in, like the objects, how are we going to articulate it, how is it mathematically connected, how is it relevant, and then we use AI to create the shopping list. And I created me and one of our group mates created it, the poster, which was mainly me. So we that poster, we have to have an additional poster with our artifact because Western wants you to create a poster before you show your artifact, so they get an idea on how it'll look like, and that also gives you a check it. Wait, like because this is like a few weeks before the presentation date, so by doing this, you have locked in your idea and you should probably start working on it and finishing up your idea by then. Then there's also a final preparation and rehearsal where we all met up a couple days before to just practice on how it'll look and everything. So we just did that. And it worked really well. And then there's our final demo day where we had to present it in front of a lot of other people. Oh, and the judges. And we also saw the dean of science coming in and a lot of other figures who organized the competition and also enjoyed this. So you get a lot of good exposure to Western's dean and chair because all of these guys will come in and you can just ask questions and they're also really interested in our topic due to it being AI related.
Excellent.
So, our first step was to brainstorm. So, first, we had to find a mentor. We tried to get my high school teacher to mentor us, who did mentor a previous team and won. But with the tight timeline, he couldn't make it. So, we were assigned a random mentor from Western, who was a Western student. And we decided that each person would try to find an idea or two, and we would vote upon that. And then we would pitch upon that prior to voting. So we did that and we got the gravity perceptron because of the interest in AI and how math is fundamental to AI, but not many people know that. And we were also inspired by Jeffrey Hinton, who is known as the godfather of AI because of his pioneering work in the neural network.
Excellent. I'm so amazed that you guys have actually picked up AI and math behind the AI and also work towards like some of the Jeffrey Hinton's work as well. So this is great work, commendable work, I would say, for a high schooler who are just between 9 and 11 grades. I'm so excited to hear more.
Mhm. Yeah. Then now this our gravity perceptron. It had our part had a physical components where we had marbles that act as inputs. So this is there would be equal inputs per funnel. So we would have like for example 10 marbles there. But to control how important each factor would be is through our funnel width where we could edit it through we can just move. We have a little thing to move it, so we can just edit how important it is. So if it's our funnel width is completely open, so all the marbles can go through. That importance is absolute. It's extremely important and it's relevant. And let's say if our thing was almost close, like around 75% blocked, then that one's not that important, but it's still relevant. And we also use our mathematical calculations, which is the bias, where we weighted against the bias. So if it crossed a certain threshold, the answer would be yes, it is this certain scenario. So, for example, if you're trying to figure out if it's fraud, you would weigh all the factors in, and there would be a bias until or a threshold until it would be considered fraud. So we just weight against that. That's what the bias represents. And this is the fundamentals for AI because this is a singular neuron in a neural network, which has an insane amount of neurons. So there are multiple of these variations coming, and there's also many layers as well to it. And this is also really relevant because of how AI is the defining technology of our era and how it's changing the world currently.
Wow, you have done your homework. I can bet you, Anirudh. Like this is amazing, right? So you have studied how the math calculation works, and also you are trying to see how you can put this together in the physical world as well, and show how the significance of AI works as well. And I noticed you talked about the use case around like fraudulent detection, right? So that is amazing as well, right? So when you're actually explaining the concept to somebody, especially the judges, using a powerful and relevant use case and walking them through with the use case is super powerful. Kudos, you guys did that. That's a really good input for audience who are watching. So when you're actually pitching even a complex mathematical demonstration to end users, apply it and make it relevant and make it practical by substituting and giving an analogy using a practical use case. That's very powerful. All right. So jumping on to step three.
So for step three, we use AI to create us a list of materials that we would use. This is just based on how it will be. Well, this isn't going to be our final list because we had to go in person to buy some funnels because we had to change our idea midway because we didn't want it to be uh, fully automatic. We wanted it to have a mechanical part where you can just fully control everything. So yeah, that's how that's how project and you learn project management from that, how ideas and you can deviate and everything, how everything deviates and you have to adapt towards that. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. This is a great scenario and use case for like how would you use AI to make your life easier, right? So although you are actually building a project, a physical component, a physical artifact, um, accelerate your whole journey and make your life easy. So this is a proof where the shopping list can be like easily planned with the use of AI. So I would like to probably add another scenario. We actually did last year. We did a whole Lake Superior a circular tour. It's a pretty popular concept, and for the entire journey, we planned it like me and my husband. We did a road tour, and then we planned the whole travel plan along with the breaks to visit, etc., with the AI. So this is how you can apply AI to your real world projects, right? Be it a travel or be it as artifact competition or anywhere. It's an amazing use case where you can actually apply AI and make your life much faster and productive.
Yeah, so step three has two parts, and this part is our poster. So, again, as previously mentioned, you have to submit a poster before your actual presentation so they have an idea. And this is where we had to talk about our artifact. We gave a base introduction on how this is an idea about the neural network, how we talked about it's just representing a neuron within a neural network, and then our connection to Jeffrey Hinton, who is known as the godfather of AI for his exceptional work in neural networks, and how his pioneering think led to its foundations of AI. And now he teaches at the University of Toronto. So yeah, pretty significant. And we talked about why it's considered a mathematical artifact. I just talked about how it's fundamentally an artifact, how each part's going to be represented in vector and everything. And yeah, I broke it down. And to further break it down to ensure that we hit that targeted portion about the mathematical addiction, I introduced an equation and began talking about and breaking it down with each part. So, for example, X represents entering the input data, W representing the weight, etc., the width. So yeah, that's yeah.
Great, great, great. Right. So this is cool, Anirudh. So the typically the poster that you submitted, this has to be submitted ahead of the competition. So you may not have the final product, right, Anirudh? So while you're in the space, but still it is expected. It's okay. You don't have the exact artifact. Like, here you have submitted an image, which is a conceptual image before you have the final artifact, right? So this is a cool takeaway, like important aspect to remember. You have to submit your poster midway before the final presentation.
Mhm.
All right. So next step is like final build phase.
Yeah, this part was the most crucial and hardest part because this is the part where we had to work together and build actual product. And for us, we did this. So we met together and did build these together where we all worked together to collaborate. So we use this to set up the Arduino. We use this to get the foundations about what we're doing. And then someone will take it home and work on it at their own time. So to make it better, to paint it, etc. And then we all came together to make sure everything works fine. We have a demo ready, and to just rehearse overall.
Great.
Now, step 5, which is a competition day, and when we won. So to the left, you can see our actual artifact on how it visually looks. So we did a lot. We talked about how it connects to Jeffrey Hinton, what happened before, what systems we used prior to the neural network, how it was revolutionary. Then talked about the math behind it directly, and after that, we had a fair style timing where people came in and asked questions about that. We could do a demo if we wanted to, although it's optional. And after that portion, there was a day, there was a time when they showed us all the awards, and that's when we've won first place for Artifact.
Excellent. Congratulations, Anirudh, once again for your entire team. Um,
Yeah, so if you're planning for next year, my advice is to try and find a team that's that is willing to participate and really interested and ready to collaborate with you, and they're proactive. And if you need a mentor, you can reach out to me and I can help as I went previously. And you can also uh get my LinkedIn over here as well. Just scan the QR code. Yep. If you want to connect with me and talk to me personally.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for the offer, Anirudh. While we are waiting for the questions, maybe I will kickstart one of the questions, right? So, uh, if you have to go back and redo this again, and it was like, what is that phase? Like you talked about five different phases. It's like starting from the ideation and execution and final demo, right? What phase that you would like to focus and improve, in your opinion?
Yeah, so like one of the phases that I saw that wasn't really doing great was the building part where uh we didn't build effectively and on time, which was a slight issue, and we had to build a little bit on the last day to ensure it functions properly. And yeah, that's one thing I would want to change.
That's nice, wonderful. And you also mentioned, like, you had a little bit of trouble in terms of, like, getting a mentor, an official mentor, right? So uh, how would you go about that, right? Because sometimes some of the mentors are really experienced and seasoned, and they know what to do, and they know how to guide the team. But sometimes some of the mentors are like, you may have to prod them. You may have to, like, take the lead, ask them. So how would your experience this? What would you do?
Your mic is cutting out at the last part. What did you say?
So how was your experience with mentors, and what would you do differently in terms of managing the mentors, and leveraging them to the best?
So for me, I would say that my mentor was like that. They were a bit passive and you have to probe them a little bit and get them to. You have to be a little bit proactive. They weren't like someone who would probe you and be like on you and asking questions. Instead, we had to ask them a lot and tell them to be a little bit proactive. For them, for that, you can't do much really. The best you can do is to be a bit proactive because you can't control other people and what they do. So you just have to do to the best of your ability to ask them questions if this meets these requirements, etc. Get their opinions.
That's great. That's great. Any final takeaways you would like to share?
Uh, just try your best and find. I already said this before. Find a team that's willing to do like be proactive and really excited for this, and find a mentor who's really interested in this and wants to help you out a lot. Yeah, of course. So first, we just talked about how, like, we just pitched the idea together. So we just went through each requirement and each foundation on how, like, it'll approximately look how we can connect it mathematically and overall how it's gonna be, how relevant it is, how easy it is going to be to make as well. So all those factors in for that part. Is this how you answer your question, or do you want me to go on more in depth?
Talk a little bit about like what are the different ideas that came out.
Okay, so okay. There was one idea which was really complicated and big. It was related with technology, but we opted not to do that. So yeah, we didn't decide that. And there was another one where it was with the theme of ancient times, where there was a Spartan spear or whatever, and they had their own cryptography to make sure all of their messages were like not they weren't going to be revealed. So for that one, it depends on the length of this their spear. So you have to just tie it up that message to your spear, and a message would pop up. But if another spear with a smaller length of width was on the same thing, it would be a completely different message. This is how early stage encryption works. So
So close.
we just pitched each idea, all of these ideas together, and we just voted upon which one we like the best.
Yeah. So basically, like you have to somehow. Uh, that was
Your mic is really off.
so you had multiple ideas that proposed by different
By each group member, yeah.
yeah each member, and then figured out the feasibility and then picked up the best possible option.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, you can ask a mentor from your school. Another way is if you can't find a mentor, they'll automatically assign you a mentor, but it isn't the best one. You can also ask a university professor if they want to. It's unlikely, but the best possible solution is to ask your high school teacher to do it. Preferably a math teacher or whatever would be relevant in your scenario for your artifact or poster.
Yeah. That's, so so just to add what Aniruth said, like that's right. So the mentor has to be an educator or a student, and only they are allowed to be a mentor. The team cannot choose anyone as a mentor. So officially, while doing the registration itself, if we have the names, we can put the name of the mentor whom we have. We can have an offline conversation and align with them, and then put their name as the mentor. Or if we don't have, then they are going to assign someone from the university itself as a mentor to us. So, but we won't have control if they are going to assign. But if we know someone from the school has the vested interest, then we can do this.
Yeah, it's just a random students they find. No problem. No problem.
So, how does it feel, Anirudh? You guys won the first award, and then it's a cash prize, right? So $1,000. How does that feel?
Feels really good, and we also got a nice medal here. I actually have it right over here. So yeah, let me just grab it really quickly. It's like right here. It's also a pretty solid medal, like over here. Like look, it's also gold. So yeah, it says Western Math Exposition over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a little blurry, but yeah, it's a pretty cool medal. It's also supports Western themes, so it's really nice. It's also pretty good on your resume and your extracurriculars for uni because you can also talk about it for your interests and everything. And it's also provincial, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, you have a. It looks like you have another question. What is it? I feel like you look like 10 to 20 hours approximately in total. But like that's like including doing it independently and everything, not just meeting up. I feel like if we were meeting up, that would be around 5 to 10 hours approximately. It varies from how what which one you're doing really. If you're doing post or the artifact one. So yeah. Like art for example, if you're doing the poster, it would be a lot more asynchronous. You would be talking on video to work on it, everything, or like on a Google Meet and everything. And for the video, that one I'm pretty sure you would it would be similar as well still. But for artifacts, I come in a little bit in person, like actually though. That's the only hard part. I decided my team members. Like it's your choice. You don't have to like pair up with someone random.
Yeah. And the team members doesn't have to be from the same school either. So if you look at the Anirudh's team, Anirudh is from a different school and from a different grade, like he's grade 11, and his other team members, Lohitha and Jack, they are from a different school. In fact, Catholic, like different school board, and then they are from ninth. So it doesn't have to be from.
Yeah, there's a lot of leeway there. You just have to be between grade 11 and grade 9 to 12, really. So if we compare mine to the other team that did it, theirs was a bit way more complicated. They had a UI and everything, but their idea wasn't unique. We looked through all the previous winners from last year, and the winners was a Bescus and a cool calculator, physical calculator that they did previously. From that, we determined we have to go a bit more unique, so we have to show something that they haven't seen. But the other team, they went with what happened in the past. They just created a better abacus, basically. They made something like a cooler version of that. But for us, we made something that's AI related, which is like pretty hyped up right now. So especially with the neural network as well, on how it was really revolutionary. So we just talked about that. So I would say the leading factor would be is the presentation part, how we had to present it to the judges effectively. Because that was a unique thing they added this year. I'm pretty sure it'll continue next year onwards.
Yeah. So, two takeaways, if I can summarize from Anirudh's explanation, is number one, uniqueness of the IP. I clearly remember the judges, this lady and this gentleman. They are the judges, so who were evaluating the presentations. They asked this question multiple times, like, where did you see this inspiration? Has somebody built this already? So these are some questions that they repeatedly asked, and it was very clear that they are looking for a uniqueness. So I felt like, as Anirudh mentioned, uniqueness is one thing that is a differentiator, and also like how they made it, like, more relevant and industry or current trend that played a very vital role, and also, like, doing the judging, the explanation, and the rehearsal and the pitches that the kids did was also really, really impactful. So just making it more relevant to the use cases that they can apply and explain was also it stood out for the judges.
There's like one part where you submit your poster and you do your presentation and your demo as well. Those are the three stages, in my opinion, and how you articulate how well your artifact is. That's like those are the three main factors: your demo, how you connect it with math, and your poster. Those are the three fundamentals, but they make only a decision at the end where you present everything. That's when they do it because they take a holistic view of everything. And is it okay if you just repeat your first question just so I can accurately answer it? That's fine.
So, how would you select the problem statement, or do you need a deep technical or
Oh
mathematical?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So that one, okay. So that part, you don't really need that much of a technical knowledge for this. For us, uh, if you okay, so like for me, I took grade 12 advanced functions a little earlier than other people, like first semester grade 11. So that did give me some an advantage in a way, but it wasn't significant. Because all of this is mainly self-learning and understanding and be able to explain it really well to the judges. And there is a Q&A that's like a minute long where they just ask about your artifact, they mess around with it, they look at your poster to see how it's connected and everything, and they just overall just ask questions to you to just have a better understanding of the topic. But you want to make sure you want to minimize that period so you fulfill all their doubts, but prior to that Q&A. But obviously, it's okay if they do that. For us, they asked a little bit about it. So yeah.
And also, you want to talk about the themes, and because like your project, or be it anything, right? Poster, video,
Yeah,
or
I just have to make sure your project meets one of the themes on the website. I'm pretty sure one was somewhere something with relating to the past or ancient. One is related with cryptography. Another one is like modern day. I'm not sure what the other ones are, but those are the three at the top of my head.
yeah, the four concepts, the mysteries of mathematics, right? So the fourth one is, so it could be about space, it could be about like a ladybug's pattern that is there in the skin of it, right? Or anything. It can be of between these themes. So Anirudh and his team picked up the modern day mathematics in the digital world, because neural network is is a backbone for the today's AI. That's the way that they looked into it. So, but then it doesn't have to be, right? So you can pick any kind of a theme, and work towards it. And you can choose either it can be a poster or video, or a physical artifact.
Yeah, does that answer your question? Or it's just like around January. I'm pretty sure it was early January
Yes.
when it opened up, and
Yeah. So it,
it was stated, but a little bit earlier. You might have missed that one.
yeah. So probably like, I don't know, you might.
Yeah, and also the mentor. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And the mentor portion is a little bit after. I'm pretty sure it's a couple weeks after registration closes, which is around February approximately. That's when you should probably ask your uh like your teacher or whatever to mentor. And if it's okay if you don't find a mentor, if you don't get someone to fill out that form, they'll just give you a mentor from Western. Yeah, sure. So the Duke of Edinburgh Award is something where you just state like three goals you want. Two of the one is a skill, one is a physical, I think, and you have to set a smart goal about it where uh it's you just have to make sure it's like actually attainable and you give it good time period what you want to achieve from that. And then your last part would be a voluntary act where you have to volunteer somewhere or do something that helps the community. This if you get this award, it overall shows how you have a lot of commitment. You can do the actions you like actually wanted to do, and overall it shows that like you're a holistic person as well. Because through this award, you can just talk about all of your activities on the your AIF when applying to universities. So like you could say something around like this. If it talks about how you face discrimination or something, you could say or like how you help someone face discrimination. You just talk about I face discrimination in this scenario, but through the Duke of Edinburgh Award, I helped other people not face it through my voluntary service. So yeah, or help them. You could it gives you a really good connection when you're talking it on your AIF. So yeah. Does that like answer your question, or do you want to know a little bit more? Oh yeah, for the Duke of Edinburgh Award, you can only get it from specific areas. So it has to be someone who's a credit who has like done a certification to say, I can give these people anyone an award for doing all of these activities. It can't be just from any organization. For me, I got it from BGC London the Boys and Girls Club, which is exclusive to our BGC at London. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Right. So, before we close the call, if any of you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Anirudh. He'll be happy to address. And once again, congratulations to you as well as your team, Anirudh. Wishing you good luck. And more applause to follow.
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah. And if you guys have any last minute questions, just ask it. Feel free to ask it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining on a Sunday afternoon. Wishing you all a nice Sunday afternoon and evening. Thank you so much. Bye.